What happened is interesting, but what I find even more intriguing is why it happened. My name is Dr. Arthur Wilson. I hold a doctorate that focuses on complex change and transformation. For the better part of 3 decades, I studied and worked in organizations helping them change or helping them create change. I found common threads that interact. These threads determine if the initiative will succeed or if it will fail. Successful change is dependent on four networks. These four networks are leadership, culture, process, and technology. Understanding how these four networks interact, and you start to see the world in a different light. Now, I confess, as I make these videos, I'm going to go through some changes. If you stay with me on this journey, you will see the camera work change, the light works change, software, scripts all get better. But we are where we are right now. So bear with me as I go on this journey, and I hope you enjoy the ride. Now to the main purpose of the video: leadership and the rise and fall of electronic cars in America. In early 2026, the United States goes to war with Iran. The reason for going to war fluctuate. One day is to stop Iran building the nuclear bomb. The next day is to foster regime change. As I make this video, it's not clear if Iran's nuclear ambitions have changed, but regime change has not occurred, at least not yet. What has changed is the price of oil. Oil prices have increased significantly and globally. Now, on the surface, this could be a geopolitical story. It could be a military story. But I want to show you how a leader's decision can create a situation that is felt all the way to car showrooms around the world. Some leadership sets direction that have consequences that ripple far and wide. There is one issue that President Trump's message has been consistent, and it relates to environmental policy. He says that it has been hijacked by the woke agenda at the expense of American fossil fuels. President Trump proclaims global warming is fake news. These attacks result in less money and resources for green policies. Through President Trump's leadership, all the research, all the work, all the innovation, all the effort to develop electronic cars simply ran out of gas. And since the United States went to war with Iran, the decision to stop support for electric cars seems like a short-sighted leadership decision. Leadership sets the tone and influences culture. Culture is the second piece of the puzzle. Here's the thing about leadership decisions: they just don't change policy, they foster change. Before returning to the White House for a second term, President Trump was sending clear signals about the green agenda. He said the green agenda was bad for America. He said it was associated with coastal elites and with globalism. At his rallies, electric cars were called job killers. He said, why invest in charging networks for electric cars when the U.S. has an abundance of oil and gas? These are very powerful messages that influence the culture and manipulated thinking. It can shift how people think, what they feel, what they think is acceptable, what they think is sensible. And in America, many think electric cars are just not right for some reason. Now, with the cost of fuel rising, will that culture change? Let me talk about the third network, process. In attempts to kill the green agenda, there's an effort to eliminate incentives for electric cars. What culture signals, process embeds on how things are done. The legislative framework that has been quietly being built to support the American electric car market, the federal tax cuts, the manufacturing incentives, funding for a national charging network get stripped back or they get frozen. This is not accidental. It's a process responding to the leadership and culture signals. Automakers who had made significant bets on electric cars start hedging. Ford scales back. GM reshuffles its timelines. Car dealerships who had stocked electric cars start to reorder gas guzzlers. The final piece of the puzzle is technology. Now, here's where it gets interesting. While the green agenda is axed in America, on the other side of the world, there's a very different story. This story is occurring in China. China doesn't have the same culture war around electric cars. They see electric cars as part of national leadership. It means energy diversification. China has a long term view and are building and innovating in hopes to lead the world. Chinese adoption of electric cars surges. Research and development compounds. Export markets open. While America takes the off ramp, China accelerates into the fast lane. And here's the uncomfortable truth that the technology reveals. The electric car was not held back by American science. The technology exists, the drive existed. What changed wasn't capacity, it wasn't capability, it was leadership. Technology only succeeds when the other networks, leadership, culture, and process create the right conditions for success. Leadership decided the direction, culture shaped the public appetite, process developed or killed the infrastructure, and technology simply prospered where it was welcomed, and that was in China. So, in closing, I expressed how leadership, culture, process, and technology work together to create change. I'm sharing this story because I believe that the biggest changes in our world are really caused by a single force. They're caused by forces working together, often quietly, often in plain sight, shaping outcomes that feel inevitable in hindsight. In this instance, the road for electric cars didn't close. It just got rerouted, this time through Shanghai. And the question I ask is this, and as the price of fuel increases, perhaps more people will ask, are electric cars worth the investment? I tell you what, I wish I had one. I'm Dr. Arthur Wilson, and thank you for listening.